This is another one of my poems, and it has to do with, titled this way, My Voting Choices Starting with 1952. Just back from the Korean front, barely on time but permitted to vote. Ike was for ending the Korean stunt, so it was easy, and my ex I wrote. 4 years later, it was Ike once more. I was a proud Republican. Then Nixon and Agnew made me sore. My loyalty went out the can. Carter made me very proud at first, but lost me over the hostage mess. I thought Reagan couldn't be worse, but his tax games left me with less. As president, he bragged he lowered taxes, but he took away my deducts out of the code. My net income he neatly axes. Makes me feel he's a lying toad. Agnew, Nixon, and Reagan sour me. I vow no more Republican support. But the 08 election may put me up a tree. If McCain is the choice they run, I'll report. Why would I break my vow for McCain? Well, because he would always do his best to restore our honor and stop our pain. True respect and trust for our nation, no longer a departed guest. Now that's the end of the poem, but I want to tell you a little more about how I feel about McCain. He should have been president a long time ago, but Mr. Bush and Mr. Rove and whoever they recruit has done a heck of a job of putting down everybody that wanted to run against Bush. Their war records were twisted and turned inside out, and they were put down. McCain wasn't bitter. He didn't leave the party. He could have been the vice president if he had been willing to jump the cart and go over and be a vice president candidate with the Democrat coming in as president. But he feels he's a Republican. He stay put. He's a true hero, a true war hero. More guts than any of us can really. I suppose there are people with as much guts, but I'm telling you, people like me, we could never show the courage and intestinal fortitude that man showed as a prisoner of war, nor the character, the dignity, that he wouldn't let the political pressure give him a break and leave his buddies over there in the rotting prisons. I don't agree with him for 5 minutes when he stand on the war. He supports Bush and Bush's, to me, foolishness. But when McCain believes it needs to be maintained over there, it comes from his heart bleeding that it's really best for the United States. He's not the kind of man that would do anything just to foster his image and his standing as the future historians evaluate his presidency. He'd do what's right for this country, and if he'd made a mistake, it'd be an honest mistake. It wouldn't be a politically motivated mistake, and it wouldn't be based on a bunch of damn surveys. Oh, I wish we had more McCains serving, ready to serve, and I wish we had enough sense to elect them when they do volunteer to serve, instead of just letting those that have the most money and put the most advertising on and play the most dirty tricks get to be our president. I salute you, President Bush, because you're the commander-in-chief. But I also pray, since you claim to be a Christian president, that you get on your knees and get a little bit clearer understanding of what God expects of a Christian leader. Oh, my wife says, don't get me started on these politics. She's probably right. But boy, oh boy, do I want to see our country get in better shape, and hope whoever's elected in '08 gets in there and does a job for us. Good night.